off so I can work it and shape me out a blank out of it and get me an edge going and all the good stuff. Then I'm going to put it back in there, heat her back up, and then heat treat it and get it, you know, get it brittle hard, and then I'll put it in my oven for a couple hours, and I'll temper it, and I'll bring it back down so it's not so critical hard, and make me a good edge out of it. But I thought I'd show. I haven't never done this before, so it's kind of hard to remember to film when you get going on this stuff because you just get so into it and you don't think about it. But I'm gonna try to remember this time, see if we can't get a video put out there on it. So we'll see you through the steps. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, that's my little gas forge. Well, it's my son's, my oldest son's. He bought it, but it sits here, and so I guess I use it. It runs off the propane tank. It's awesome. If you guys are wanting to get into metal work of any kind, you really got to get one of these. This thing will heat that horseshoe file up. It'll heat up in about 4 minutes. Red hot. I mean, you can see it in there. It'll get that steel, white hot, high carbon steel, don't matter, stainless, any type of steel you want to work with. Anyway, thought I'd show. We'll try to keep it going so we can get a whole video going here. Thanks for watching. Alright. I forgot to tell you, when I get this hot, I'm not going to do nothing with it. I'm just going to shut the gas off, let the fire go out, and just let it sit there and cool off slowly. That'll anneal it, and that'll keep it soft for me. I want you to see how hot this is getting. Look at that. Carbon steel file, and you know how hard files are, guys. I get that so hot that I can just literally just put it against something and bend it, and that's kind of where you want. If you're working files for knives, you kind of want to do that, or you'll wear out all your grinding tools if you don't. I mean, you can do it without. You can make a knife without annealing your blade, without annealing the file, but you're going to go through a lot of grinding wheels and angle grinding wheels and your bench grinding wheel. You're going to go through everything you use. You're going to chew it up fast because carbon steel is, well, it's meant to be hard, and it's hard for a reason. But you got to do it. I mean, it's fun too. Anyway, here's a little bit better look at the forge from the side. Here's your gas lines right here. Come in, there's two jets. You go down and blow right into it. It's a pretty. If you guys got welders and some scrap steel laying around, you can make this forge for nothing. I mean, that's just 3-inch. Sorry, that's just 3-inch angle iron welded together on 4 sides to make a square. This whole thing is probably, hold on a second, I'll tell you. Sorry about all the movement, but it's that's a foot long. That's all that is. That's about, I don't know, 8 inches tall, 7 inches tall. So you take 4, 3.5 by foot long pieces of angle iron, weld it together, make you a box. And you're going to get some 2-inch angle iron. That's all this is. Make your front. I'm not going to get it, try not to get it too close. I don't burn my camera up. It gets hot. You can see the flame shooting out there. But that's all that is. It just sets up off the ground a little bit. You use the 2-inch here for your legs. And that back's open too. So, you can put long pieces in, it'll come out here and you can just work it back and forth. Some pipes, some holes drilled in it. This here's a hollow square tube with a fitting on it. I don't know if you can see it. That's just for your gas line. These are probably right at 10 inches long. About 5 inches apart. And they're just welded to a plate that's straight to the top of the angle iron. The holes are drilled into the core. And then on this side, here's a little box made. It's on hinges. I don't know if you can see it down there. You can take the screw out and you can close these sides up and use this as a side hatch. This pops open. I don't know if you don't have to make it like that. That's just how this one is. But you couldn't ask for a better little forge. It's very small, compact, don't want to take up any room. It's cheap to use. I mean, that's $20. That'll last me 2 months, maybe longer, depending on what I'm doing. But that's what it does. So I know there's some boys out there that know how to do some metal work, as far as welding and cutting and making stuff. And the inside of it, I don't know if you can see it in this video or not, because it's awful bright here right now. But it's that fire wool that you put, for your stovepipes or you're in your stove. And you just line the whole thing all around it with that. But that's a fire brick that you put in your, your fireplace. That's all that is. Sitting there on the bottom. And it's a pretty neat little tool, guys. I know you guys can find a lot of uses for it. And it's not that hard to do. And like I said, if you got a torch and a welder and you know what you're doing, you can probably make one of them for just a couple of dollars. Probably the most expensive venture in the whole thing would be that tank of gas. Anyway, I'll continue with the video and see what we can come up with here. It might be a while though. Thanks for watching. Just thought that's some info you guys might want to have. Alright. I just shut the forge up down. And I'm going to leave it in there until you can see it stays hot for a long, long time. That brick that's in there is just glowing red. So that will keep the file warm and let the file slow down its cooling process. And it'll take all that carbon and the steel in it and it changes the molecules in it. And it will soften. It will soften easy and stay that is, but it'll stay together. It won't break down completely, obviously, but it'll get it to the point where you can work it with ease, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'll see if I can move it there so you can kind of see that brick. That brick stays hot. Anyway, all right. We'll turn back on something interesting you might want to watch happens. Alright, thanks. Alright, here we are out of the forge. It's cooled off enough where I can handle it just barely. I mean, it's putting off a little heat, but it's not, you know, it's touchable. I wouldn't hold it in your hand very long, but you can see here how hot this forge gets it. There's some carbon right there that's bubbled up. And it's flaked off the top of it. It brings the carbon up to the surface. And then when you temper it, it kind of pushes it back down in. I don't know how to explain it, but I know that's how it does it. But anyway, I'm going to try to film here a little bit. I got my tripod out. I'm going to try to do a little filming as I'm grinding on it. I'll use an angle grinder to smooth it out to get the teeth off of it. And the pattern will still be there, but the sharp teeth won't be there no more. They'll just be smooth and flat. And I'll do that on both sides. And I'll use the angle grinder to cut my shape out. This is the shape here. Hold on a second. This is what we're shooting for. Right there. I don't know if I can get in. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be about, I don't know. I think it's about 10, 11 inches long. Hold on a second. It is. It's going to be about 10.5 inches long. I'm going to use a piece of cow bone. I'll make me some bone handles for it. It's going to be pinned. It's going to have 6 pins and then 3 hollow pins. Be real nice polished up. It'll be pretty cool looking when I get done. I draw them out on paper first. Sometimes, not always. When I'm going to make a knife out of a file, a lot of times I'll draw out a pattern just so I can. I'll use the file itself as, you know, I'll trace it on a piece of paper, the dimensions of the file, and I'll draw my pattern within that dimension. And so I know what I've got to work with and what I can make out of that size of pieces, you know, steel or blank, whatever you want to call it. But after I do that, I put these up, I store these, keep them for later use, or later ideas, and I'll draw it. I'll trace it on a piece of cardboard, like a cereal box, or, you know, on soft dog food boxes or something, and I'll put it on there, and I'll hold it, and I'll spray it with some black spray paint, or white, whatever works for you, and that leaves the outline, and that gives me something to follow as I'm cutting away the waste with my angle grinder. And then when I do that, I got the rough shape cut out. I'll make a decision either to grind out an edge or hammer out an edge, you know, using the forge, heat it up and beat it out. I do that sometimes on bigger knives or knives that ain't made out of file. I'll obviously usually have to beat out, but you know, that's a thing that I really don't know what I'm going to do until I get there. But you'll know as soon as I do, I promise. These are some that I've hand forged out. I got a whole bucket of these railroad spikes. I think really good knives. It's really good steel. These are the old railroad spikes from a long time ago. I don't know if you can. Let's see. Yeah, it's a good knife. And then here's another one of a hand. Well, this is kind of a mixture. I kind of cut the shape out with my angle grinder after going through the whole, you know, annealing process and all that, and I ground out the shape, and then I put it back in there. I forged and I hammer forged it the rest of the way. Did some file work there on the back of it. I don't know if you can see it. But that's a monster knife. I think I've showed this before. I'm kind of hanging on to this one because I like it, but who knows, I might like this one better, so this one might be for sale. We'll see. But it's, when you do that edge, and you heat treat that edge, I mean, you got a knife that holds an edge and will never, ever, hardly ever, need to be sharpened. Get their edge there. So anyway, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, guys, but I'm gonna try to do a little filming as I go here. It's gonna be a longer video, maybe a 2 or 3 parts, who knows. But and it might not ever get on YouTube. I don't know. It just depends. But I ain't been arrowhead hunting a lot lately. Ain't been making any. This time of year it's cool outside. We got some snow yesterday. We had about 1 inch, and it's gone already. But I don't know if you can see any out there or not through this window. But it's warm enough to come out here and do a little work. But the forge, you know, it's cool enough where there's some snow that's left. Believe it or not, this whole place was covered in snow yesterday. It's probably about 50, 55 degrees today. Yesterday it was 28, I think. So, who knows. Anyway, that's the plan. And we'll get back to it. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. To be continued.